I'd like to call to order the August 5th public hearing for the City of Tampa's Architectural Review Commission. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ted Kempton, Chair of the Commission. If you are here to present a project, you will have limited time to make your presentation, so we suggest being thorough but concise. When coming to the microphone, you will need to identify yourself and your relationship to the project. The commissioners will not ask any questions during your presentation. Your project should be presented in the following order: site plan, elevations, architectural details, and wall sections. Staff will then present their report. We will then ask for public comment. Please state and spell your name clearly if you are here to speak for or against a project. Your time will be limited to 3 minutes, so take some time now to summarize your comments because 3 minutes goes by very quickly. Following public comment, the commissioners will ask questions in the same order as the presentation. Next, the applicant will have 5 minutes for rebuttal. The public hearing will then be closed. After the public hearing is closed, no further testimony can be given. The commissioners will then discuss the case and will make their decision based on Chapter 27 of the City Code of Ordinances, the Design Guidelines, the Secretary of Interior Standards, Historic Preservation Development Review Committee comments, and the testimony given at the public hearing. The ARC can only act on items that are within our specific jurisdictional responsibility. Owner agents are independently responsible to obtain any appropriate permits and/or approvals. If you haven't already done so, please silence cell phones. And I will start on my left with the introduction of commissioners.
Elena Perez-Ketchum, Attorney Representative.
John Prokop, I practice architecture.
Brian Hammond, architect.
Tim Jones, General Contractor and Building Inspector.
Also in attendance, we have from the city staff, Ron Vila, Heather Bonds, Jared Barnum, and our attorney, Dana Crosby Collier. All right.
Good evening, Commissioners. Ron Vila, I'm a planner with Historic Preservation. Our next agenda item is conflicts of interest and ex parte communication. Our legal will take the lead on that.
Good evening, Dana Crosby Collier, City Attorney's Office. I'd like to ask if any member has a conflict of interest with any item on the agenda this evening.
I do not.
Okay, seeing none, has anyone engaged in ex parte communication regarding any item on the agenda?
I have not.
Thank you.
Under continuations reflected on the agenda on page 2, we have one that's ARC 26-0000360 for the address of 1410 DeSoto Avenue. This request is a continuation for the new construction portion for the accessory structure. If you look on the agenda, our first agenda item also reflects that address, 1410 DeSoto. They're coming forward for the demolition of the contributing accessory structure that will be heard this evening, and the new construction that will take place in the event that is approved is being continued to August 5th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. at City Council Chambers. And if we could get a motion for that, please.
What was the date you just said?
October 5th.
October 5th, okay. All right, looking for a motion?
Yeah, I move to move to continue the ARC 26-0000306 at 1410 DeSoto Avenue, the request for new construction to the Monday, October 5th, 2026 public hearing at 5:30 p.m.
Second.
All right, we have a second. Seeing no discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion passes.
And for the record, that is in Council Chambers, 315 East Kennedy.
Perfect.
We do have an adjustment to our agenda as well, and Dana will take the lead on that as well.
Again, Dana Crosby Collier. Item number 2 on your agenda this evening, ARC 26-0000340. At the applicant's request, we're going to ask that this be removed from your agenda for tonight. It will come back soon, and when we have the date, it will be renoticed.
Okay.
So we just need a motion to remove this item from the agenda tonight.
I move to remove from the agenda ARC 26-0000340 for the property at 1810 North Highland Avenue from our agenda this evening.
Second.
All right, we have a second. Seeing no discussion, all in favor by signify by saying aye. Aye, motion passes.
At this time, we're going to move to the swearing. Mr. Barnum will swear everybody in. Everybody that wishes to testify, please stand up and raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony being provided today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Moving to our first agenda item, which is ARC-26-00-00360. This is for the address of 1410 South DeSoto Avenue. This is in the Hyde Park Historic District. Currently, there's an accessory structure that's contributing. It was built in 1915, our records reflect. The zoning attached to that parcel is RS60. The request is for a certificate of appropriateness for demolition of that contributing structure. In front of you, you have a report that adheres to Chapter 27-116, the burden of proof and economic hardship. The applicant and the owners will go through this. You have that to follow along. The owner does have experts here, so be cross-examined when the time is right, if needed. And at this time, we're going to go through a photo presentation. I'm going to quickly go through this. The owner and the agents have additional photos to provide you, and if for any reason you have to look at these again, they're available. Starting with the Sanborn map. This is off of DeSoto, which is here, it's highlighted in the green. You have hills to the north, and you have Bay Shore to the south. If you look here, you have a series of accessory structures that are all in that corner. There is no alley, so there is no separation, and this is the existing condition that's out there currently today. I also like to show the vicinity map so you see where it's at in the overall scope of the Hyde Park Historic District. So it's in the southwest corner. This aerial doesn't tell you too much, but I wanted to show this and zoom in so you see the real life kind of story of what's happened there. You have the primary structure, you have the detached accessory structure that's there, and then you have the accessory structures that are in that immediate vicinity by the neighbors. Get you familiar with the site. It's a craftsman style home. Has all the characteristics of a craft style home. That's the front elevation. As you move around to the north, the front and then the north. This is the abutting property to the north. Going back to the subject site, looking down the porte cochere, looking at that south elevation as it continues to the rear. This is picking up of the primary house and the rear elevation of the primary house. There is a pool in the backyard. To focus on the accessory structure itself, we went out there, these were taken on different days. We went out there one day and then went out there just to focus on the accessory structure. This is front through the porte cochere. It's a 1-bay, 2-story. You see the different siding that's here, and that's on all the elevations that we could see. I couldn't see the rear elevation, but on the 2 visible elevations. This is that south elevation. The proximity to the property line, you see it here. As you look closer to the foundation, there's some deterioration here and here. Getting a little closer, it appears that the sill plate is on bricks, that is sitting on bricks. This is that same elevation. You see the different siding, it's a little tighter siding as you go up. You see the overhangs here. Going to the rear elevation, there's going to be some discussion about the proximity of the structure, how it sits to the property line. The back facade is on the property line, and then you have this encroachment. And this is what I was trying to get. You see the separation here, that there's no fire separation that is met for today's code. This is the pool decking and how it engages with that elevation. Moving to the interior, there is a slab there. The joists around the foundation, the pictures speak for itself. We were able to go upstairs. It was pretty dicey going upstairs. There's several structural bracing in place that comes on the bottom of the upper floor, and then you see the structural supports. And I'm going to conclude with that. At this time, I'm going to have the owner address the board and then the agent as well.
Thank you, Ron.
Good evening. Thank you all. My name is Matt Brazes. I'm the property owner along with my wife, Erica, and our 1.5-year-old, who I'm sure you've already seen and heard from already. Basically, we're here today because we're trying to discuss and get done the demolition of our back unit that's there. So we bought the home 2023. We renovated the main house. We love the house. We love the property. My wife works at Tampa General Hospital. We want to stay there absolutely as long as we can, but the back unit has been a problem because with our son, we're extremely uncomfortable with him being in our backyard, and we flat out just don't allow it. You even saw the fence around the pool, and when we're in the pool, we use it to keep him out of the backyard, which is the exact opposite use you'd think for the fence around the pool. But the back unit there has become an economic hardship for us because in order to renovate it, basically get it up to speed for something that we can actually use as a family, it would be exceedingly expensive for us to be able to accomplish that. And as far as our future planning, I know we have some, the next agenda was October. We had discussed the potential accessory unit that we're gonna do. We just basically don't know exactly for family planning what we're gonna do yet, and that's why those plans are on hold. We're between just wanting to put pavers down and replacing it, or potentially doing an addition off our main house. We just honestly don't know what we want to do. We just know at this time the unit isn't safe for us to have in our backyard with our son and future kids. So that's why we're here. So thank you all. Oh, last thing I had for you. So what we did do yesterday, we went, past couple days, we went around to our neighbors all around us. And assuming this works for paper, well, maybe not, but, okay, there you go, awesome. So we went around to our neighbors, we got signatures. This was the staff notes that Ron Villa made when he came over. So we got all of our neighbors to, basically that share a property line with us and another across the street to sign off and agree that our back unit, the accessory structure, should be demolished, and we even have one of those neighbors here today supporting us. So that's it. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Catherine Coyle. I'm with Boggs Engineering, 601 South Alexander Street, Plant City, and serving as the agent for Mr. Brazes and his wife. I'll be brief through this because the experts are here as well. So what I'm giving you tonight is the summary of the findings and the documents that we put together in the binder, as well as the findings that I'm presenting for 27-116. Burden of proof and economic hardship. Just briefly again, the project location is 1410 South DeSoto. The site is approximately 64 or 68 square feet. East side of DeSoto, south of Hills Avenue, and the owners. They are a married couple. This is the survey. We're requesting the certificate of appropriateness to demolish the two-story accessory structure, contributing structure. This is the survey with the building in the back, where it's located immediately on the property line and just a couple feet away from the southern property line. The front elevation of it, which you've seen in previous pictures, and this is a slightly different angle. We were able to go over kind of reach over the fence and show you just how proximate it is to the rear structure. And again, the owner mentioned that a neighbor is here to speak in favor, and it is the rear neighbor that owns the building that is shown in that picture. We do have the structural engineer's report, which is tab G of your binder. Joseph Goyardo is here, who put together that report. The estimates for construction and rehabilitation and demolition, Urban Craft Construction, Christopher Polo, he's here. And the appraisals were performed by Belanti Appraisal Group, Anthony Belanti, he is here as well, and that's tabs J, K, and L. He performed an as-is, with it being demolished, and then with it being rehabilitated appraisals. Briefly through the pictures, there are the tabs F, G, J, K, and L all have tons of photos in them. F are all the photos that I took initially from several months ago. G is from the structural engineer's report. J, K, and L are the appraisals that happened in June. So a lot of the pictures are almost repeats, but there were different perspectives. These are the pictures from the engineering report, just the overview of the front, back, and left and right side. And again, Mr. Gallardo is here, and he can go into more detail. But you'll notice in the report the deteriorated wood at the base of these posts. You'll notice Ron mentioned that the plate is sitting right kind of on bricks. It's hard to say there's really a foundation or footers. The building literally just sits on this concrete pad. The posts just sit. And at the bases of almost all of them, they are rotting, and there's structural decay. And it is, I'll go through and show you what that is in the findings. He went through all the braces that are in there with the decay. And it's been happening over time with moisture. There's shifting, structural shifting in the second floor. You can see the gap here. It's over 1.5 inches, I believe it's mentioned in the report. You'll notice the rotting in the wood on the second level, at the windows. In the second floor, when you go up into the ceiling of you don't even have to go up into the ceiling of the kitchen. It's just open. There have been some repairs that were tried to be made over time, where they put in some structural supports. This was not the current owner. This was done previously, just to shore it up the best they could. We didn't see any records of permits for those, so it appears that maybe that's unpermitted activity, which makes it even a little less safe and questionable. You can see these additional braces that they've tried to add to hold up the second floor. You can see the wonkiness of the staircase going in. I did go upstairs with the owner. Very sketchy. It was unnerving, I can say that. It didn't quite wobble when we were up there, but it didn't feel safe. And you can see the posts, there's just rot throughout the staircase going up, and the posts and the railings and the treads. And this is another view of that eave just hanging over this other building, and as it leans a little bit to the rear and a little bit to the north. Looking at 27-116 F1, the burden of proof, these findings are our tab C of your report, of the binder. You'll notice right here the aerial, I did a blow up of it to show you in the magenta dashed line, that's the structure, the subject structure. You can see it's immediately abutting the structure to the rear, which is a large accessory structure. And there were only maybe 4 feet from the structure to the south that is their garage shed building. Going through the actual burden of proof criteria, first, letter A, alternatives, demolition or relocation, such as planned development. The property is zoned RS60. It's compliant with RS60 short of the lot width. Rezoning it to a PD is actually irrelevant in this particular case. The ARC has the authority to grant any variances that would be needed should this building be required to be rehabilitated or rebuilt in its current location. Relocating it, you'll find in the report, is very suspect given the lack of structural integrity and the findings from the Belt report. Letter B, whether the landmark or building structure can be retained on site. I've summarized some of the things in tab G. Under summary and recommendations of tab G, the structure, quote, exhibits widespread and advanced deterioration affecting multiple primary structural components, including the support system, wall assemblies, and floor framing. That goes directly to the fact that it's literally just posts rotting, sitting on top of a concrete slab with some plates and then laying on top of random bricks. It's very sketchy. The structural deficiencies are systemic and affect multiple interconnected structural systems throughout the building. That's why you get the shifting in the second floor with the large gaps and the leaning of the building. Additionally, the report says, quote, the structure is considered unsafe and exhibits conditions consistent with a significant risk of structural failure under the applicable Florida Building Code loading conditions. The report specifically notes the deterioration and instability is, quote, consistent with long-term moisture intrusion and long-term structural movement. The reason why it's important to cite those particular findings is because this isn't the result of the owner that's only owned it for 3 years. He's been trying to figure out what to do with it. We've been on this case for about 8 months, putting together the experts. He did have a previous engineer that was working on it that just couldn't get it together. This is very long-term damage and decay. Furthermore, the other thing that makes this difficult is this is a unique block in Hyde Park. There is no alley. There's no alley access. So it's very difficult to get to the back of the structure considering it's sitting at 0 setback. So there would have to be some type of agreement with the rear property owner to allow access to their property to help with the building for repair. Let's see. Letter C, whether relocating the landmark or building or structure is appropriate or feasible. Based on tab G, the Belt report, relocation of the structure would not be appropriate or feasible due to its current condition, serious risk for failure as noted previously, and risk posed to adjacent structures and properties. Letter D, whether the applicant has the ability to build the new proposed within a reasonable period. The homeowner does have the ability to begin construction prior to the expiration of any certificate of appropriateness that should you grant one in the future. And letter E, whether the demolition is justified as an economic hardship. I'm just referring to the responses here under economic hardship, which is 27116 F3. That's also in tab C. And I'll go through these briefly. Estimate the cost of proposed demolition or relocation, and an estimate of any additional costs that would be incurred to comply with recommendations of the ARC. The demolition proposal from Urban Craft Construction, as mentioned, Chris Rapolo was present for future questions. This was conducted May 18th. The estimated cost to demolish the existing accessory structure is $19,440. That's tab I of your report. The estimate notes specifically that the cost does not include any testing or removal of hazardous materials or any associated permit fees, so that cost will go up. Based on the age of the structure, additional materials, testing, asbestos, lead paint, and so on, may be required prior to demolition to ensure compliance with local, state, and federal environmental regulations. There is an additional note on the demolition. It is subject to increase due to the close proximity of the accessory structures, as mentioned before. They will have to work a little bit harder to make sure it doesn't fall to the rear when they go to demolish. There is also, if you noticed in the picture with the porte-cochere, it's very narrow there, and you can't even drive a car back to it. That's why it's not a garage. With the AC unit and the way that the house and the property come together, it's going to be difficult to bring a lot of large equipment in, so a lot of it will just have to be either hand carried out or carted out upon demolition. Report of a licensed engineer, letter B, with experience in rehabilitation as to the structural soundness of the structure and suitability for relocation and or rehabilitation. As stated under the summary and recommendations of the Belt report, which is tab G, quote, due to the widespread deterioration affecting multiple primary structural systems, the extent of repairs required is expected to be extensive and may exceed the practical feasibility of rehabilitation. And they did have the benefit of all the other information, including the appraisals and the cost estimates. Letter C, estimate the market value of the property both in its current condition and after completion of the demolition or relocation to be presented through an appraisal. I mentioned Anthony Belanti with Belanti Appraisals, Appraisal Group. He conducted those 3 appraisals, June 26th. The first 2 appraisals of real property, market value of the subject property and the accessory structure as is. Tab J, evaluated and estimated the current market value with the accessory structure in its current condition at $1,788,000. The demolished accessory structure appraisal, which is tab K, evaluated and estimated the current market value with it removed at $1,800,000. It actually increases by $12,000. This actually, the as-is appraisal correlates and corresponds to the original appraisal done 3 years ago when the owners purchased. There was no value assigned to the structure because of the condition of it at that time as well. And that was in the record in the original submittal. Letter D, an estimate from an architect or developer, real estate consultant or appraiser, professional experience in rehabilitation, as to the economic feasibility of rehabilitation. The third appraisal, which is tab L, is the appraisal with the accessory structure being rehabilitated. The estimated market value under that appraisal was $1,950,000. So it does go up. What should be noted, however, in addition to the appraisal, the estimated construction budget, which is tab H, the cost of rehabilitation was $427,056.33. I included 2 specific notes that are actually noted at the bottom of that. If you read tab H, I won't read it in full, but it's essentially saying this could go up because there are unknown conditions and unsafe conditions and unstable conditions with the building. Those costs could go up once they actually get in there and start ripping it apart and trying to rehabilitate it. And just for your awareness, for the record, Urban Craft Construction, they did have the benefit of the structural report when they did their estimates as well. Letter E, amount paid for the property was $1,055,000, July 7th, so they've literally owned it 3 years. The current owner purchased from a regular MLS listing. They had no relationship to the previous owner or the seller. If the property is income producing, the annual gross income for the previous 2 years, this is not income producing. It is owner occupied and maintains homestead. That's tabs A and M. The remaining balance on any mortgage or other financing secured, the current balance as of June 2026 is $951,888. It's obviously gone down just a hair with the payment in July. No other loans or financing has been secured against the property at this time. All appraisals obtained within the previous 2 years. Letter H, that's just referring you back to tabs J, K, and L for the appraisals that were done in June. Any listing of the property for sale or rent within the previous 2 years, the property owner has not listed it. They've lived there, it's their home, for rent or for lease within the previous 2 years, or for sale. Letter J, the assessed value of the property according to the 2 most recent assessments and the assessment of the property after demolition. According to the property appraiser, the assessed value is $726,501 for 2025, and it went up by about $20,000 in 2026 to $746,117. That's tab A. Real estate taxes paid for the previous 2 years you'll find in tab M. Went from $12,799 in 2024 to $13,743 in 2025. Letter L, form of ownership or operation. The property is owned by a married couple. It serves as their primary homestead. And finally, any other information that would assist in making a determination as to whether the property does yield or may yield a reasonable return to the owners. The subject property is not income producing. Any investment in or improvement made by the property, to the property are borne by the homestead homeowners and tied to their personal family finances. That's just logical. It's just plain fact. Thus, a typical homestead owner, it's our opinion, would generally expect that any yield or reasonable return on investment would be generally comparable to their investment. One would hope anyway, and that's market dependent. As referenced in the 2026 Belanti appraisals, tabs J, K, and L, the existing accessory structure has no value in its current condition. it actually decreases the current market value by $12,000. And that's the difference between J and K. Furthermore, in those tabs, show the estimated market value increases by $162,000 if the accessory structure is rehabilitated. Great, it goes up. However, once the estimated $427,056 for the construction costs are factored in, the estimated increase is completely eliminated, thus posing an inordinate burden, an estimated negative return on investment of $265,056. So it's actually a much larger loss if they rehabilitate it. And factoring in the fact that it's still unknown how much it's actually going to cost. The contractor did the best he could on the status of it today, with the additional caveats at the bottom of his estimate and the additional caveats of the structural engineer. Until they actually get into it, it could very well cost more to rehabilitate. And finally, the summary, the expert findings and documentation provided we believe satisfy 27116 F1 burden of proof. The expert findings and documentation provided sufficiently and appropriately demonstrate economic hardship under 27116 F3. And I'd also like to cite the ARC administrator opined in his report, page 6 of your staff report, and I'll read it verbatim. Therefore, it is the administrator's opinion that, based on the substantial competent evidence submitted into the record, an economic hardship will be established in rehabilitating the accessory structure in accordance with the structural engineer's recommendations and the historic preservation standards, while achieving compliance with the FBC. The administrator has not concluded that the current owner contributed to the deficiencies of the structure based on the current owner's purchase of the property in July 2023. It's a high burden to get the approval or the recommendation of approval from staff, especially for Hyde Park, and we definitely appreciate Ron's work with us on this and his findings when he went out, and Dennis's as well. They've been great to work with, and I just wanted to cite that opinion in the report as well for the record. Therefore, we respectfully request your approval of the certificate of appropriateness. And for any questions that you have, the experts are here.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. Ron Vila, I'm a planner with Historic Preservation. This is a finding of fact, as you have in front of you this evening. You have the report that was given to you. You have the experts that are here that are able to answer any questions. You have the owner and the agent. The agent did a complete presentation, and all the information, I believe, is into the record. Additional questions, I believe, could be asked for the economic hardship for items B and D. There are some numerical numbers that could strengthen their position. The submission for the demolition satisfies the submission requirements for Chapter 27, 116F, 1 through 3, with the exhibits that were shown. She read the report into the record, but I wanted to conclude that it's the administrator's report, the decision that is specifically for ARC 26-00000360, located at 1410 South DeSoto Avenue, that the information that was put into the record for this particular request, and this is not binding or related to any other property. So this is solely the information that is for the review this evening. I'm here to answer any questions.
Great, thank you, Ron. Is there anybody in the audience that's here to speak for or against this project? Come forward and please state your name clearly.
How are you? James Ford Merriweather, and we live, my wife Lisa here, we live at the property immediately behind 1410 DeSoto at 1407 Nance Avenue. And we came before this board in 2011 and had a garage in a similar location. It shows on the plat that was showed earlier. And I'll show you that just for humor's sake. I don't know if you could see this. Oh, yeah. Go out from right side up.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So our garage was literally on their property line, and it was about 6 inches from the neighbor on Nance, and the roof actually hung over the fence at the time. I mean, it was pretty well dilapidated, but it's in a lot better shape than what the one at 1410 is right now. So we came here and got a certificate to, allowed us to remove it, and we built a new accessory structure 3 feet from the property line, 3 feet from the property line. And the thing that's a little bit discerning, I guess, is we have, our survey shows that the building on 1410 has actually is on 10 inches over the property line. It sticks out, and so there's no fence right there, so the building is actually part of the fence. But I measured this, the separation from my garage to their garage is 45 inches, and then the roof is like 22 inches. You know, what we did, we had to put a firewall in our structure because it was so close to the existing structure, and we put fire retardant paint on those structures, but that's not gonna save it for very long. But anyway, so I'm definitely for taking this thing out, and I know she mentioned a little bit about, you know, contractors having access, and we don't have a problem getting access provided that we have hold harmless, you know, general liability, workman's comp, or anything that somebody needs to do to get in there to have access to it. So, I did talk with Matt on Monday. He came by and we talked a little bit, so I let him know, you know, that I was coming here. A little concerned when the building comes out, the fence comes out, that our backyards are connected. And I have a swimming pool, and it's not, I don't have a cage around my pool, so I'm gonna have a little bit of a liability. So if I have to put up a temporary fence or whatever I have to do to save it off, or if they can get a fence put up pretty quickly, that'd be great. But this side of the, I don't know if you noticed, but this side is in a lot worse shape than the other side that Ron showed you. Some of the studs are exposed, and you can see the studs are rotting on the back side, so I'm afraid of the back of the wall will collapse within, you know, a few years if nothing is done. So definitely all supportive of this. So if we can get the property line sorted out and then have the structure, you know, demoed, I don't think relocation makes sense. You would have to basically reconstruct it, but, which is kind of what we did. We reconstructed the garage and then added onto it, you know, as part of our project. So anyway, that's all I got.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Is there anyone else in the audience? Okay, seeing no one, we will start with questions from the commissioners on my right.
I just have one question for the owner.
Yes, sir.
If you were to get your certificate of appropriateness to tear down the home listening to your neighbor, do you have plans to put up a temporary fence before you come back before this board to put fencing up to keep your son from running into his pool and vice versa?
That would be very highly important for us to put some sort of a structure up that obviously would keep our little one from getting through. We also have a dog, so that's high importance for us too. And the other neighbor that we share that same wall with, not the back unit borders up to, but just the fence, we're going to accept the cost of replacing the fence for both neighbors since they're kind of in the middle of our backyard. So we'll put up obviously a new fence as quickly as I can. I can't build the fence, it's not my skill set, so we'll certainly have whatever team that we have that does the demolition, whether it's Chris or whoever we can get it done as soon as possible.
Okay, that's it. That's all the questions I had.
I have no questions.
I have no questions.
No questions.
I have some questions. Have you guys determined, I guess it's for the owner or the applicant, either one. Have you done any research to determine the age of the structure?
I just know that it's a contributing structure. I assume that it would, I'll let Kathy answer that.
It shows in the property, sorry, Catherine Coyle, Boggs Engineering. It says in the record, the property record, that it was built concurrent with the home in 1915.
1950.
I don't know if it actually was, given the difference in the siding and the way that it looks constructed, but it's cited as
Plus or
1915.
minus 5 years,
Yeah.
got it. Stay up, please. Condition of the roof when you purchased the property. Was the roof waterproof?
So I believe the roof was redone when the main house roof was redone. So before we bought the home,
I guess the
I guess
question I
maybe
have
2
is,
years
was the roof leaking when you bought the property?
on the detached unit,
Yeah.
I never inspected it. I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, Or my neighbor can answer that, so, yeah.
So the condition that we're seeing today,
Yes,
would you describe it as similar to what it was when you bought it in 2023?
I understand, yeah. It's in the exact same condition. We haven't done anything to it to improve it or to the detriment of it.
Has it deteriorated more other than just natural aging?
If it got worse, I couldn't honestly tell you it did, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. All right, there are two urban craft proposals in this submittal. They're both the same date, but they're different numbers.
Catherine Coyle again, Boggs Engineering. Yes, one is for the rehabilitation and one is for building new based on the plans that we originally submitted, the ones that are continued to October. It's just to show you the difference in cost of what it would take to build a new one correctly versus what it would take potentially to rehabilitate the existing. It's about $100,000 difference with the caveats
Now,
of,
what I'm looking at is a 401 versus 427.
oh,
One is under one of the appraisals of real property under tab K, and then one is, looks like tab H. So tab H is dated 5/18, it's 427,000. And then one is under, it looks like an appraisal, but it's got the same date, urban craft, and it says 401.
oh, you know what, this was all going through me and having the different, experts, and so when Urban Craft sent me the original one of 401, I had follow-up questions, but I also had to get it to the appraiser so he could get the appraisals done.
Got it.
And then there was a follow-up, adjustment once he went back through and reevaluated the structural engineer's report, because there was an amendment to the structural engineer's report with additional
Okay, but
findings
so
too.
for the record, 427.
The 427 is correct, yes.
And then which tab has the proposal for new construction?
We actually removed it from this because we continued it. It was in the original binder that was filed.
Okay, but from an economic hardship standpoint.
Oh,
what's
okay.
the differential?
Oh, it's 100,000. It was 327, I believe.
Okay, is that in the record at all?
It's in the original record, yes. It's just not in this particular binder because we continued it. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, we would want that for this record.
Okay, I do have a copy of it.
That would be great
Yeah.
if you could submit that. Okay. I don't have any other questions. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, you have 5 minutes for rebuttal, if you so choose.
Nothing further this time. We just respectfully request your approval based on the findings.
Okay, great, thank you. At this
Thank you.
point, we're going to close the public portion of the hearing, and we will move on to discussion. The floor is open.
It's a shame, but we see it all over the place in Hyde Park, people that in the last 10 years don't take care of the property and it starts to deteriorate and then is past the point where they can do anything about it. So I don't think this owner contributed to it. I think it was on its way downhill, and it was on its way downhill, and I don't know if they stopped it from moving downhill, but it is what it is. I don't know if they can do anything with it now.
Yeah, I think, we're gonna face, these issues constantly, is that, at any cost to rehabilitate or reconstruct a historic structure or even an accessory structure, once you've done that, is it historic anymore?
Right.
Does it have any historic fabric, or is it just a brand-new building shaped like the original building that was there? Because you have to replace
Everything.
everything. And that's almost a philosophical discussion to be had. But, yeah, I don't think this is rehabable, frankly.
Yeah.
And building new, with respect and respecting zoning setbacks and that kind of thing, and bringing it to current wind codes and whatnot. This right now is a danger. If a hurricane, came over, this is in danger of blowing and damaging properties all around it. And that's, I think there could be short-term things done to kind of tighten it up to prevent that from happening, or, but it wouldn't be feasible to rehab the whole building.
to your point about the setbacks on the different setbacks, I mean, he's encroaching on his neighbor's yard right now. So if we were to say, no, you have to rehabilitate it, we'd also have to grant him variances, trying to figure out how to do a three-dimensional variance over his.
No, I think, they think they'd even have to move it.
Yeah, you would
Yeah.
move it.
You'd have to move it to rehab it,
Yeah, and that's,
which is
they may-
probably not in these estimates.
yeah.
Well, what I would tell you is
Yeah.
that the conversation that needs to be had at some point, I don't think this is the right project, because it's so far gone. But what is the percentage that makes economic hardship? Because right now, this is about 25% more,
Right,
right?
right.
And you go,
Right.
is that an economic hardship, or is it 30, or is it 40, or whatever? I think this one is way too far gone, that this is the one that you decide on. But
Right.
Yeah.
that's the discussion.
No, I agreed.
Comments from Mr. Shannon?
Come on, speak up, speak up.
I think it's a mess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I would like to make a motion. Yeah. I move to grant a certificate of appropriateness for the drawings and documents presented as public hearing in ARC-26-00000306 for the property located at 1410 South DeSoto Avenue, because based on the finding of fact and proposed project is consistent with the Hyde Park design guidelines in the city of Tampa for the following reasons. It is an economic hardship for the owners to rehabilitate or to move the existing structure.
Okay, we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a second. Any further discussion? All right, not seeing any. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, it's unanimous. Congratulations. Motion passes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, I'm looking for a motion to receive and file submitted documents. and
Did we get
exhibits.
did we get that, other estimate?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so,
Got it,
Okay.
perfect.
so moved.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, the meeting is adjourned.